Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. I suppose it's impossible to win every game of a football season, isn't it? Your side aren't used to losing. How's the reaction been in the squad since Tuesday, and are you hoping for or wanting the best possible response on Sunday?
Yes, we are about that, thinking, working on a response, of course. Performance-wise, I was, and the longer I thought about the game, which is quite difficult there directly after the game, and you have all these interviews that you already thought about the game, really, you only react like spontaneous on the questions, stuff like that. It was not a game you usually lose, to be honest. It was a really good, it was a mature game at Napoli against a difficult opponent. Can be that people expect us to dominate a game like this more, but that's actually not possible. The quality of Napoli is too big for that, and so I was really happy with a lot of parts of the game. Of course, not with our creating chances, finishing, stuff like that, but again, a very good side. Koulibaly, the last line, so Manolas, the fullbacks, the good defending midfielders. It's not a team you play against and score easily, like 2, 3, 4 goals. But we could have had better chances with a few better decisions. That's how it is. But then, if you play a game like this, you stay in the game and you keep it open with a 0-0. We did that until the penalty happened, and the second goal we don't really have to talk about. So, but then you lose a game. That's how it happens. It's in the small details, and we accept that. It was not that we felt, oh my God, how could that happen or whatever. So it's just important that we are in a good shape, and we have to keep that going. That's about. It's not about now coming from a -20 point to try to get to a +50 point. It's really we're in a good moment, and we should keep that. And but still, result-wise, and even performance-wise, in parts, we wanna show it that we wanna make it better. That's how it is.
We all know the importance of Virgil van Dijk to your defence, Liverpool's defence. Manchester City have already lost Laporte and seem to have suffered. Do you worry that Virgil van Dijk is so important, and what would happen if he picked up an injury? It's not something that keeps you awake at night, is it?
Not yet. But that's the reason why we have 4 centre-halves. So that's how it is. It's not, how we said it now a couple of times, it's not easy for the in the moment number 4, if you want, not playing, sometimes not involved in the squad, stuff like that. But in a moment when if something happens, and like it was last year, then it happens not only one thing happens, and a couple of things happen, and then you end up with 1 centre-half and a defensive midfielder. And what we did against Bayern. We had to play against Bayern, the home game, I think, with Fabinho and Virgil as centre-halves, if I'm right. And so that can happen. And of course, unlucky, but you cannot think before you have an injury about injury. So it's like how we all said, we all need luck to be really successful in these injury-wise, first and foremost. And so yeah, I can imagine that something like that is not easy, but. The other guys, I've said it a lot of times. From my point of view, we have 4 world-class centre-halves, so they can play together in each partnership, and hopefully that will be enough for a season. To be honest.
So much is made in today's game about playing out from the back as well. We've seen Adrian receive maybe a lot more balls from his defenders in the last couple of games. Is there a better trust now between him and the back 4 over the last couple of matches since what happened at Southampton, really?
yeah. But that's normal. So the Southampton thing was exceptional, of course. But I said, human beings making mistakes, wrong decisions. That happens constantly on a football pitch. It's then quite obvious. But of course, I don't know how long he was in when we played Southampton. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks max, not longer. And now it's, of course, we have had a couple of sessions, or rather a lot of sessions, where we could work on that. And of course, they know each other much better. Hopefully, it stays like this. Because now it's they start having a real connection. But that couldn't have been the case in the first few games. There was no chance for that. We just had to take what we got. Use Adrian without no match practice or no match experience for I don't know how long. And that he did really well. He did outstandingly well, and yeah, now they have the connection we need, and that's good, of course.
Bear with me on this one. Since the last time that you won away at Stamford Bridge, which was September 2016, you've won just 1 of 12 matches against your fellow top 6 teams away from home, which surprised me, really. I don't know if it surprises you or not. Why do you think that is?
Because they're really good, eh? Could be one reason.
But just in comparison, Manchester City have won 7 in that time, and Crystal Palace have won 5 against the top 6 teams in that time as well. So
it's not a nice comparison, actually. The style of play, Crystal Palace and Man City. But yeah, obviously there are different ways to win away games, so we have to find one. Yeah, but it doesn't. These are not good news, obviously, but it doesn't. I don't feel it. So it's. Give it a try. I think a lot of people said it already. The longer you know, things like this happen, the more likely it is that it will change it. So we go there, of course, to get a result. We cannot go to Chelsea and won't have a guarantee that you win the game. They are just too strong for that. But I think we had. I wasn't sure when it was 2016. Maybe it was 16 when we won against all. Pretty much got all the points from top 6 and had all the other problems. So that's how life is. And then we are much more successful winning all the other games and having some results. How many games did we draw in that time, or did we lose all of them?
In that time, you drew 6 and you lost 5.
Well, that's still a positive statistic, actually. So, look.
It was just surprising, that was all, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, unlucky in moments, I'm sure. Good performances, really good performance of the opponent in others. Chelsea was last year, I think, pretty late again, always pretty late away games when you came from any international games or stuff like that. And United last year was not a thrilling game, but we could have won it anyway. Yeah, for different reasons, obviously. Arsenal as well. I thought we won there, but it's long ago.
Spurs is the only one in that time.
Okay. So, yeah, obviously a job to do, but I thought we prepared a game besides that statistic, so and we really focus on that game and not about the results we had until. But it's all about the quality and the performance. What can I say? It's nothing, it's not written in the stars that we are not allowed to win away against Chelsea, but it's obviously difficult and we still should try it.
I know I need to get out more in terms of that as well. Injury-wise, then, how is it looking? Is it same as? Have you got any good news for us in terms of players coming back?
So Naby Keita will be back in training at least. So then first, yeah, with the team. Today, then first time with the team. Ale is making big progress, but still away from a proper session yesterday with John Achterberg. Not in team training yet, and we have to see day by day. So that's how it was from the first day. How can he deal with the pain and stuff like that? So we will see. But I don't know exactly. It's pretty early today. I don't know exactly what the medical department tells me about that case.
So you've not ruled Divock out as such yet?
I think it's unlikely, but I don't. Why should I rule him out? No, well, it's unlikely.
Thank you.
Jürgen, at the start of the season, I know you come against Chelsea in the Super Cup, but you spoke about how you were looking forward to coming up against new managers. How do you think Frank has done, or what's your assessment of him in these 6 weeks of the season so far?
Well, really well. So, but it's difficult to say a lot about. I don't think it's my job to talk about other managers really. But what I can say, they play exciting football. They do. I didn't see yet. We have analyzed the meeting, by the way, after this meeting, and so I have to look back the Champions League game what they played. But they play now played the last 2 games a different system to the first few games, so they changed the system in a very busy period of the year, so that's interesting. Of course, he has the players for it. How's that? Really exciting football team, young, but good, really good, and yeah, and for me it's not a surprise. Frank did the last year. I said it before, and probably people think I only say that because I'm polite. If I would be polite, then I don't speak actually about another manager. But it's not polite; it's the truth. He did an outstanding job at Derby, and so I'm not surprised that he's doing a really, really good job at Chelsea as well. So, but it's a difficult league, and we have to prove our quality pretty much in a 3-day rhythm, and so sometimes it works out and sometimes not. We know that as well, but I can see that the results maybe people were not so happy with were because of him. So that's because of the opponent, because of how the match goes and stuff like that. I really think he's a really, really good manager.
Jürgen, disappointing result in midweek, but another excellent performance from Fabinho. When you consider what he's done over the last 12 months, I mean, I think Liverpool's record in the Premier League when he started, I'm not even sure they've lost a game. How important has he become in terms of being part of that defensive screen and the fact that the assistance he gives to the central defenders, and he's become a really big part of what you have now, isn't he?
That's not a surprise as well. So that's why we signed him. He plays like he played actually at Monaco, and but he needed time to adapt to the different rhythm and a different tempo in the league. That's it. But in the moment when that happened, when he got used to that, since then he can play like he plays because of his quality. So, and a very smart footballer, very smart, and of course really skilled in all defensive things. That these individual defensive things are really difficult to learn. So it's like if you have a sensational right foot or a sensational left foot for a specific shot, or if you have these skill in 1-1 situations, that's a skill, and he used that pretty well. So, but this alone would not make him the player he is. So it's about his game intelligence is really good, and that helps all of us. But playing, even Fabinho playing in a midfield with having 2 players around him who are not really involved in defending, you look like, you look completely different as a player. So it's all about why are our defensive players, why we talk so often about our defensive players, how good they are and stuff like this. It's because the team defends in a specific manner, and that's really important. And if you are not alone, if you have smart boys and good boys around you, it makes life always easier, and in football especially. So yes, very important part of the team, of course, but thank God he doesn't have to play alone.
You touched on Chelsea a wee bit already. All matches in the Premier League are difficult. Does this represent your biggest challenge so far? I know Chelsea have had their ups and downs, but they look to be a very potent force at the best, and Tammy Abraham has had an outstanding start to the season, and they've got this sort of nucleus of young players. Very exciting team.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Hudson-Odoi didn't really start the season so far, so so they had obviously a couple of problems, but I really think they sorted it well. But now they lost the Champions League game during the week, which I don't think they expected that to happen. But it's Champions League and it can happen. And so they will make their experiences. It's a really exciting team. What I said, it reminds me a little bit of my team at Dortmund years back when they were really young, even younger than this team now at Chelsea. But and people are always talking about how young they are, but they only played because they were that good. They didn't play because they were that young. And if you see that they brought in Christian Pulisic in the summer. I'm not sure 100% about the money, 50, 60 million, something like that. And all the players around him have the same value. Tammy Abraham is now a 60 million player. Mason Mount for sure 60 million, if not more. Hudson-Odoi was before that already. I don't know what people said exactly, but that's we have Jorginho, not that young, but not that long in the league. You have Kanté, who looks like he could play for the next 20 years. So it's so maybe he's 18 or whatever physically, but it's unbelievable. So they have these Kovacic, Barkley, all this stuff. Then the experienced guys around them: Pedro, Villian, Giroud, from the bench, Batshuayi. So if there's one club, I would say, in the world who a transfer ban didn't hit that bad, it was probably Chelsea, because of the transfer policy they did in the last few years, with all these players on loan out there and these high quality players. And Tammy Abraham scored last year 20-something goals. I'm not sure. The year before, he was already pretty successful already. So it's not that he learned where the goal is at Chelsea. So he found it in different places already. So that's just a good team, and all my respect. It's really, they are a proper contender for pretty much everything. But yeah, now we play them on Sunday, and anyway, we want to get there. Something to plan.
Jürgen, one clean sheet in 8 games is considerably different to the start of last season, but you're arguably in a better position in the league. I'm just wondering, should we read anything into that in terms of the way you're approaching games this season compared to last season?
Nope. No, there's no difference really. We didn't focus more on offensive things and forgot the defensive things. It's about the goals happened completely strange. So there would have been a second clean sheet at Southampton if you don't concede that goal. There could have been different clean sheets in other games. So yeah, of course, it's not exactly what we want to have, but we don't collect clean sheets and think then we can string them up or whatever and show them everybody we want to win football games, and we are still early in the season. So that's how it is, and we have to improve and we have to develop, and that's what we want to do. But it's not because we have a different approach to last year. No.
David, anything for you?
Jürgen, obviously a player that you know well in the Chelsea side, and Christian Pulisic. Just how do you think he's going to get on in the Premier League? It's obviously been a quiet-ish start for him, but he's a big talent, isn't he?
Unfortunately, good. He will be a proper player. He is, and will be. Big talent, dynamic, pretty good with both feet. Yeah, super exciting player. Absolutely, good signing, I have to say.
Anything else? No? Okay, put it on the line. Trying to see if anyone else from the